Good afternoon. We have a very busy afternoon of zoning enforcement matters. We had a number come in from various villages and townships, and there are lots set for this afternoon. The air conditioner is turned off here in the courtroom, and it is very warm in here. But I'm the only one here. Start to bring our clients in here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Got everything turned on here. The recorder's on. We're on YouTube. We're on Zoom. Mike Hayden's logging in right now. It's 11:26 according to the computer. We have to let the clock tick a little bit. I've got a busy afternoon of these. I think your firm just has this one. Is that correct, Mr. Eccleston?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Then we'll do yours, and then we'll deal with Mr. Thornton. Has a number of them.
Your Honor, I do have pictures as well. Do you have Mr. Hayden's report?
I do. The December pictures and the summer pictures, there were two attached to each report. So we'll go with that.
Yeah, there's
more than that.
There should be some August 3rd, 2021 photos in a report that Mr. Hayden did yesterday.
Yeah, I have those too.
Okay.
We are verging on reopening the courthouse for many proceedings, but we are in the high range of reinfection rate according to the health department. So we may be regressing, but there's a mask mandate back in place here at the courthouse. We are still open for much public business. We'll probably continue to do these things by Zoom for the foreseeable future. Anyway, we're doing some criminal matters live. One more minute, I'll call the case. Can't tell how these are going to go. If I have a number of no-shows like this, they'll go quickly. If they're vigorously contested, it's going to be a long afternoon. It is 1:30. We'll call the case formally. We are on the record here in 3B District Court in Centerville. We have a number of zoning violation matters from around St. Joseph County schedule. First matter is entitled Sturgis Township versus Thomas Belair. File number is 2029090N. Mr. Jacob Eccleston from the I call it the Seaver firm. I'm not sure how the other parties feel about that, but on behalf of Sturgis Township, also present is their zoning administrative officer, Mike Hayden. Mr. Hayden, would you unmute your microphone and raise your right hand? Just a minute, I think the defendant may be here at the courthouse. Go ahead and put your hand down for a minute. This may take a minute. Good afternoon, sir. Are you Thomas Belair?
Yes.
All right. This is Judge Middleton. You're here at the courthouse. I appreciate your taking this matter seriously. The file number is 2029090N. I'm going to ask Mike Hayden and you to both raise your right hand. Mr. Belair, would you raise your right hand? You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give at this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
I do.
I do.
All right. And thank you, Mr. Belair, for being here timely. Mr. Eccleston, this is a property right on US 12, 22660 US 12. This is the time and date for an order to show cause for failure to comply with a compliance order. We saw some pictures from December. Mr. Hayden took some more recent pictures just yesterday. What's the status here?
Your Honor, at this point, the court had signed an order requiring compliance with ordinance back in beginning of March of this year. At this point, it looks like there's been barely any movement done on that property, and we would ask that after today that you enter an order enforcing the ordinance at this point, Your Honor, and allow the township to go on to the property if at the end of this month, if the vehicles and everything haven't been pulled out, to allow the township to do so.
All right, Mr. Hayden, you're under oath. And did you prepare a report with a couple of photographs from your investigation of the property yesterday?
Yes, Your Honor.
And those have been filed with the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll receive that report as exhibit number 1 for this proceeding. Why don't you tell us what you found?
I went out yesterday and I did take those photos. There is an RV, a boat. There's a few cars on the property also. There has been some progress on cleanup with junk and mowing of the grass, but the vehicles seem to be delay of getting those taken care of. And as Mr. Eccleston stated, the order was signed in March. I believe it gave 30 days, and we're into August now, and there's still quite a few vehicles that are still on the property that are unlicensed or inoperable.
Are those fair and accurate representations of what you saw yesterday?
Yes, Your Honor.
That report with the 2 photographs is admitted as exhibit number 1 for purposes of this hearing. And you're asking that the township be allowed to clean this up and distribute the bill on the taxes of this property. Is that correct, Mr. Eccleston?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Belair, what's your side of the story here?
All the vehicles that are visible from the road are licensed and insured. I got pictures of the license plates. I got a copy of my insurance policy. Some of those cars have been insured as far back as 1979 with Farm Bureau here in town. I mean, Sturgis. They all got current license plates on them. I drive the ones I need to drive. Some of them I've owned since new in 96 and in 19. My wagon I've owned since 1977. And it's been licensed and insured since 1979 in Michigan. So they're all licensed, they're all insured. I was told by the township supervisor 4 years ago that as long as they were licensed and insured, even if the engine was in the back seat, I could have them. I found out at the township meeting Monday that there's a new state ordinance, it's not in our zoning book, that allows them not to be running, is against the rules. I don't drive all my cars, but they are all license plated, they're all insured. I got pictures of all the backs of the cars with a personalized license plates with current stickers on them that have always been on there. They're not abandoned vehicles, they're not jacked up, they're parked. One's parked in my front yard because the township told me I can park my cars anywhere on my property I want. I don't have to line them up behind the fence, I don't have to hide them. And that's why we call it the township board.
How about the boat?
Yeah.
How about the boat?
I got an old Chrysler boat that belonged to my dad in my yard, redoing the floors in. You want me to put that behind the fence, I can, but actually, it's just an old Chrysler boat with an old Evinrude motor on it. It belonged to my dad. When he passed on, I ended up with a boat. The other trailer has a canoe on it, which is a canoe trailer. And I got another trailer that has a paddle boat on it the kids take out on the lake.
What about this trailer?
Well, the trailer's licensed in the state of Michigan and it's parked on my property. It's a 32-footer. I don't actually have anything I can tow it to go camping with. You know, I did cut down some of the brush around it, but it's actually being parked there and it's plugged into the power off the well if I ever need it.
There's an old, looks like a 61 Chevy station wagon or something.
That's a 59 Nomad that I've had since 1977. And it has never been painted. The only reason why the paint looks like that is because they put it on the car in October of '58.
Well, does it have wheels on it?
Yes, it has 4 wheels on it. It's got an engine and transmission in it.
And it has a current plate with a current sticker on it?
The plate expires in 2024. I got a picture of that plate too. And I've always taken that, that's actually insured to the company in case a tree falls on it and stuff, because it's actually.
Why would you leave it moldering away out there in the Michigan winter? You haven't got any place to put it inside?
4 years ago, they told me I had to take my carport down because not according to our township ordinance, but based on state ordinances, you cannot have a temporary building over 2,000 square feet. So I took down the carport and waiting to get permission to put it back up. So I got a 24 by 24 carport broke down that they would not let me leave up because it was more than 2,000 square feet. Our township zoning thing didn't have a size when I put it up and paid to have it put up. But the last zoning officer said it's over 2,000 square feet. I had to take it down, so I dismantled it. Otherwise, that car would be undercover.
Officer Hayden, have you actually been on the property to check out whether these are actually plated and insured?
I have not been on the property. Mr. Bellairs never made contact with me at all. Every letter that I sent him has on it that the vehicles have to be licensed, insured, and mechanically and legally able to be driven on the roadway per the ordinance. He has never had contact with me at all. And I have not gone onto the property to see the license plates.
Now that's a new condition in some townships. Previously, they only had to be licensed and insured. Now that under this Sturgis Township ordinance, they have to be mechanically able to drive on a public roadway.
Yes, Your Honor.
The township told me that's actually not in their zoning book yet. But it's a state ordinance that is being enforced in our township. Because I've read the zoning book for Sturgis Township.
What do you know about that?
It's not a part of the zoning. It is under the junk litter vehicle ordinance, which was, let me pull up here. Look and see when it was adopted. Looks like it was adopted in 2015, April.
By Sturgis Township?
Yes.
I was to court, now, I was at a township meeting and court since that time when they said I can do nothing with the cars except for make sure they were plated and insured. The minutes of the township, I couldn't pull up because they're over 2 years old, but they should have minutes for the meeting I went to at the township thing if they could dig back through their paper files.
Well, this isn't township meeting, this is a court proceeding.
I know.
And you're certainly have certain rights as a property owner, and the township has certain rights as for zoning enforcement. Now, you indicated, Mr. Lindsay, that it looks like you made some improvement on junk. So is the current just the abandoned vehicle ordinance or junk and litter ordinance?
You talking to me, Your Honor?
Yes.
Yes, there was junk behind the house, and as he stated, he has mowed down the property. It's just the vehicles, the operational, and if you would like me to share my screen, I can show the ordinance, I think.
All right. We'll show it for Mr. Belair's sake.
If I can do that.
We talked
This is
about the
This is
township.
the
Just a
definition.
sec, Mr. Belair, can you see this?
Okay.
On the screen?
Okay, it says inoperable, it says when they're dismantled, right? So these are
Yes.
100% cars with tires and wheels.
Whether it's dismantled for the sale, salvage, or repair, reclamation of parts, where it does not have all of its main components properly attached, where any other additional conditions which would cause a vehicle to be incapable of being driven under its own power lawfully upon the public streets.
These are complete vehicles from front to rear bumper. They're not
Well, you
dismantled.
can't-
Parts stripped off. They all got 4 tires and wheels on them. They all got motors in them. If I throw a battery underneath it, it'll start.
All right, we may have to do a attempt to determine that.
But
What
they're
about
all-
the camper, Mr. Hayden?
The camper, I have not been out there, so I am not sure the status of that. Again, I've attempted contact since, I believe, April of last year, and Mr. Belair has never made contact with me, so I was just going by assumptions of what I could see from the road.
The former zoning
Well-
officer, okay, the last, he made me buy that camper from my brother-in-law because it wasn't licensed in my name and put Michigan license plates on it. So it's licensed in my name now because they wouldn't let me keep a vehicle over 6 months old that didn't belong to me on my property. So that plate that has current Michigan plates on trailers last forever. It's got current plates on it and it's parked on my property.
All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue this.
I
And
got pictures of all the backs of all my cars here if you want to.
we're going to make an appointment for you and Mr. Hayden to meet at your property. And he's going to inspect these vehicles and determine if they're plated, insured, and operable, in which case,
How far do you want to go with this operable? Because I don't think I need to have my engine running in my 59 Chevy.
yes, you do, or you gotta move it out of your front yard on US 12. It's been sitting there like a toad in the road for multiple years to the irritation of the Sturgis Township. You've got an inoperable car that you don't plan to make operable, and it's sitting there with apparently an antique plate on it and probably comprehensive insurance. But it doesn't run. And under the township ordinance since 2015, you can't have a car out there that doesn't run. All right. Well, are you agreeable to, I can just issue an order right now that will give the township permission to come take everything off of there and give you a bill and spread it on your taxes.
Okay, now the vehicle.
But what I would rather do is set an appointment for you and Mr. Hayden to meet there at the property.
So what I was told by the township at board meetings doesn't matter. Well, I was told by the township supervisor and their committee, when the treasurer came out and inspected my vehicles 4 years ago, that stuff no longer matters because something that passed, a law that passed before that 4 years ago is now being aimed at me.
Well, I don't know the answer to that. I'm not the township. I'm the
I know, but they
3B District Court representing the state of Michigan.
To do exactly
So
what
I'm not necessarily bound by something told you from I had some property once, somebody without authority told somebody they could build a house there or a garage, and it was in the road right of way.
Okay,
I ordered it be torn down. All right, well, let's just determine this. Are you willing to have Officer Hayden come out and inspect these, figure out what vehicles are in compliance?
I'm willing to move all my cars and give permit to put a carport cover over the one there.
All right.
My Nomad. Okay.
All right, well, you're not here, you're down the hall in the conference room. So please stop interrupting me. I'm trying to finish a paragraph and you stop me before I can get you to answer it. And you go off in a different direction. So let me try again. Are you willing to have Officer Hayden come out and meet with you on the property, try to figure out which vehicles are in compliance and which vehicles are not? You can also explore other options such, I don't like the term carport, it sounds temporary, but whether there's some sort of permissible zoning building where you could perhaps put this stuff. Are you willing to do that, sir?
Since I did not know about the non-operative ruling, okay, until Monday when I went to the township board meeting and they told me about this new part of the ordinance. I did not know that they had to be operable. I'm willing to remove the vehicles, especially the old car, which is my first car. Nope, I'm not going to restore it till next year when I retire. But it's 100% car. But I'm willing to move it somewhere or put it behind a fence so that it can't be seen from the highway.
Is that going to be satisfactory if he simply moves it behind a fence?
I would have to look at the wording in the ordinance. Most of them say they have to be in an enclosed building or are not visible from the road, yes.
Not visible from the road would be a fence.
Then, Mr. Belair, how long will it take you to do that?
I have to buy the fence and put it up. I could get it done hopefully by the end of the month.
Well, today is August 4th.
Each time the one car I know doesn't run. Okay, I know my Nomad doesn't run. I bought that in 1977. I've got parts to make it brand new all over again. And last time I had an issue with the township, they told me I could leave it parked anywhere on my property I wanted to. Actually made me take down my carport. If I got permit to put back up my carport, it'd be quicker than put up a fence. Okay, but I have to go and get a building inspector on my property and okay a site. And the last particular zoning guy I had, I didn't really want to invite to my property.
Mr. Eccleston, can you or someone from your firm be available on Wednesday, September 8th at 1:30?
I can, Your Honor, or somebody from my firm can be there.
All right. Mr. Belair, I do appreciate people's right to exercise domain over their own property. And that is at odds with the community's desire to not have blight and affect other people's.
Well, I never considered my.
Stop interrupting me, please.
Sorry.
I'll give you a chance to speak, but I'm trying to make a thought and you keep blurting stuff out. If we're in none of the other parties are doing that. All right. But there is a balance between those two things. I don't make these ordinances. I've got a stack of these today. I've got about 7 more cases to do. Yours is the mildest. Yours is probably the easiest to clean up. You got the junk out of there. You mowed the grass. These vehicles can be moved somewhere, put into storage, or simply removed without costing you a large expense. There may be some expense because the township is hiring their attorney and paying this law firm money to enforce this zoning after you got a ticket. First, they met you with a few times, then you got a ticket, you got defaulted on the ticket, then there was a compliance order that said you were supposed to do this within 60 days or 30 days. You didn't do it. And then we have this hearing, which is a hearing for me to order you to do it, or they will do it and give you a bill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjourn this to September 8th. We start jury trials again on September 15th, and my Wednesdays are going to be busy. I won't have Wednesdays open to do as much of this, but I will still be open on the 8th. I'd like you to allow inspection by Mr. Hayden earlier that week.
That should be okay. That's after Labor Day, right?
Yes. Mr. Hayden, Mr. Lindsay, Mr. Coolman, the people that are doing this, they don't want to be the bad guy. They're willing to help work with people and say, all right, this is what you need to do. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can do this. It's expensive for the townships to pursue this. I've got some that are coming up that are going to be very costly. So let's see what you can accomplish between now and September 8th. Now, if these vehicles are licensed and insured and they're operable, then I think they are lawful. I want to know about this camper. It doesn't look like it's been used for camping. It looks like it's probably a storage building, would be my guess. I bet if you tried to start it, it wouldn't start. So that's going to be an issue. And the Nomad's going to be an issue. I've got a friend that's got a Nomad in his garage, 57. You said this is a 59?
Yes, it's the only one left in the state registered.
He's had it in his barn for 30 years. He's retired and he's going to start working on it. They're hard to get parts for. This is smaller than this one. The 57s are more on the 57 Chevy platform. This one looks like a bigger. That's why I thought it was a 61. At any rate, you're going to need to do some things to get into compliance. If not, I can simply do what the township requested, issue an order that they do it and give you a bill. And you won't like that much. So let's see where we are September 8th. You're to allow him to do an inspection earlier that week. And he's not going to bite your neck or anything. He's going to come and say, all right, let's be reasonable. What can we do to remedy this? You'll find he's easy to work with. Your property will look better. The cars will age better. This car sitting out there for 40 years in a Michigan winter, summer, spring, and fall hasn't done much for it. All right. I do appreciate your coming here to the courthouse. Shows me you take the matter seriously. This next hearing will either be virtual or you can come back to the courthouse like this if you choose. But it will be September 8th at 1:30. Okay?
Okay, I'll get the time off work again.
All right. Now, you had some things you wanted to say or things you wanted to ask me. Here's the time. Anything else you wish to tell me or ask about?
No.
All right. I'll see you on September 8th.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. You're good to go.
Okay.
All right. I'll continue that to September 8th at 1:30. Hopefully he can make some progress. Anything further, Mr. Eccleston?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see what we can accomplish by that date.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Lance, are you interested in buying a 59 Chevy Nomad station wagon?
No.
You've restored your share of cars and tractors over the years, but I think this one might be a little beyond,
Yeah.
but we'll see. That was our last case.
Okay. 59, that'd have the big tail fins.
Yeah, it did. I thought it was a 61, but the picture wasn't real good. Well, you got a plate full this afternoon. Mr. Lindsay's here. Let's see who this phone number is. Good afternoon. Who am I speaking with? Is this Stanley and Kelly Brooks?
No, this is Charles Ware and Linda Ware.
All right, let me give you a name. This is Judge Middleton here at the courthouse. Do you have the ability to do video?
I don't have the internet out here right now. I believe I probably could get it on data.
Well, just stay where you are here.
Yeah, I have an iPhone, but I'm not very good at using it yet.
All right. The last gentleman, he actually drove here to the courthouse, and we had him in the conference room, but we'll be able to get by here. Lance, we have two things set at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. We have the Brookses and Mr. Ware. So we have a lot to do here. Here's Linda Ware. All right. Let's call this case. This is file 203452ON. It's entitled Colon Township versus Linda Ware, and file 202451ON is entitled Colon Township, or 551 and 52 are Linda, and 53 and 54 are Charles. Yes. These are zoning violations in the township out on Chipper Drive. The township is attempting very vigorously to clean up a number of places, including several here in this near address. They've been very active here through the summer. First of all, we'll start by swearing everybody in. Mr. Glenn Lindsay, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your position with Colon Township?
I'm the building official and code enforcement officer for Colon Township, Your Honor.
Mr. and Mrs. Ware, I can't see you, but where you are right now, I'm asking you please to both raise your right hand. You both swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
Yes.
I do.
Linda?
Yes.
All right, give me a moment here. Mr. Thornton, I'll defer to you.
Hey, Mr. Lindsay, when's the last time you inspected the Ware property?
It was yesterday.
Okay, and you prepared a report, is that correct?
Correct.
And that report is also dated yesterday's date of August 3rd, 2021.
Yes, sir.
That report indicates that the property is still in violation. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
As part of that report, you took some additional pictures of the property, actually 5 photographs. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And
Lance, give me just a moment here.
Sure.
John, are you done with everything you had upstairs?
They now passed it, so it went very quickly.
Well, okay. As soon as I finish this one, I'll have him brought.
Do you want me out of the courtroom?
No, you're fine. This is, you're welcome to watch zoning enforcement if you wish.
I didn't know if that was a COVID issue of me being in here.
No, it should be all right. And then we will take care of that matter in between this. I've got a criminal matter I have to deal with, and I had to wait for the availability of Mr. Bush. He had a circuit court matter. They expected to spend time on it. It got dismissed. So as soon as we finish the Ware matters, we will take up our criminal matter and then go back to zoning. So thank you for your patience, John. All right, you were starting to describe the report and the 5 photographs.
correct. Mr. Lindsay, those 5 photographs that you took and that have been provided to the court, do those accurately and fairly depict the situation on the Ware property as of yesterday?
Yes, sir.
And can you briefly state what's still in violation on the property?
Yes, sir, I can. Your Honor, would you like me to share my screen so I can put the pictures up on the screen and describe?
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the Wares can't see them, but yes, go ahead.
Okay. Can you see my screen, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, so this first photograph was taken from the edge of the road, just looking at the side of the garage. And it's the location where the travel trailer used to be, and then also a large amount of debris. And it does show on the right-hand side of the picture some tires that are stacked up. And then back in the distance up near the garage, there's some more debris. I think I have a close-up of that as well. Let me go, yeah. So here's the next picture is a close-up of the tires and some landscaping timbers and some other debris, maybe a window or something behind the tires. And then the next picture that I have on the screen is actually out near the edge of the road, and it looks like it's a workbench full of just miscellaneous debris with some type of a white barrel and a tarp on the ground behind that. And then the next picture is also taken out by the edge of the road, and it looks like an automobile seat from perhaps a minivan or something with a 5-gallon bucket next to that. Both of those things would be in violation of the litter ordinance. And then the last picture is just a copy of it looks like where maybe as they've been cleaning, they've been burning debris and miscellaneous items there.
All right. That report and the 5 photographs are admitted as exhibit number 1 for purposes of this hearing.
The township will acknowledge that the Wares have made progress in getting the property into compliance. What Mr. Lindsay just pointed out is what still needs to be cleaned up. We would be requesting an order today that would allow, if they cannot get that or will not get it cleaned up in the next 21 days, that allow us to go on and do that and assess it as any cost as a lien.
Mr. and Mrs. Ware, what's your position? It does appear to me also you've made substantial progress here. The order won't take effect for 21 days, which essentially gives you 21 days to get maybe a couple pickup loads to the dump. What's your position?
Okay. What you're calling debris in front of the garage, first off, are a couple of lawnmowers that I do use, and a couple of large beams and some cinder blocks that are still out there. The tires are good tires. I'm trying to get rid of them, but we don't have a vehicle they fit on right now. I do have a couple of scrap spare tires that I do need to get rid of. The burn pile is where I've been burning all my wood and cardboard, and that will eventually be cleaned up. But the chairs, the bench seat out of the minivan, we've been using that for a chair around the fire. Like I said, it's, yeah, I have hauled a lot of stuff out of here and cleaned it up. I know it's not quite done, but I have, because of the circumstances of my work hours and earlier this spring, the weather, it was supposed to be done by March 20th, and that was the last month of winter, so it was a little cold and wet out there yet.
We have the same problem every winter. Well, I'm going to give you 21 days to finish this. I think you can I don't know. That looks like something out of the hills of West Virginia with a busted car seat sitting out there in a bucket. But I don't know why you can't have a plastic lawn chair out there by the fire.
There is one there, actually.
I
two.
see it. I see
And the
it.
plastic lawn chair is not an issue.
Yeah, I understand that.
Car parts are. All right. Can you clean this up within 21 days?
Oh, and yes, I'm sure I can.
All right. I'm going to do an order. Mr. Thornton submitted this order, and it says the defendant is in contempt of court for failing to completely comply with a compliance order that was entered in February of 2021. Anytime after the expiration of 21 days after the entry of this order, the township officials may enter upon the subject property and take actions necessary to bring the property into compliance with the township's ordinance, removing all junk, trash, building materials being stored outside. If you want to keep those tires, put them in the garage. Lance, what's the township expense here? $318.25.
That is correct, in attorney's fees plus $164 in safe built fees. The $318.25 is per case. There's two. That's for $318.25 for Mr. Ware and $318.25 for Ms. Ware. The $164, I believe, can be divided if the court's going to divide the total costs and fees between both cases.
I'll just put that on Charles's.
So the total would be $482.25. Oh, I'm sorry. It wouldn't be, if you're going to put it all on Mr.
No,
Ware.
I split the 318 in half. I put safe built all on Mr. Ware.
Okay, but the 318.25 is per case. So
I did it that way.
318.25 for Mrs. Ware, 318.25 for Mr. Ware, and 164 on Mr. Ware's case.
That's the way I did it.
Okay.
So the township has spent money on this, and in fact, this doesn't even meet it. But you did make significant progress, and I want you to complete this, but within 21 days, the township's going to come do it. I think you can get this done within 21 days.
I think so.
All right. I'm going to send this to your address for you. Linda, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. And you heard everything we just did also. We'll send this to your address. You do have 21 days to appeal this. which is one of the reasons we wait 21 days, but it's summertime. The dump's open. You can
Not
move
on
things.
Sunday, though.
No, not on Sundays. All right. You're free to go. I've signed the orders in each case. And
Your Honor, may I say one more thing just for clarification for the wares?
yes,
Anything that is a building material, like Mr. Ware stated that there was some cinder blocks and some beams. Building materials are also a violation of the litter ordinance. So I just want to be perfectly clear that any and all building materials must be removed or stored inside as well.
I understand.
Okay.
all right, thank you. All right, if you give me a moment. I'm going to stop the record and we'll take care of our. Hello, booking office, Judge Middleton calling. Could I see Austin Eby at the Polycom room?
Yeah, we'll get him down there.
All right, any one of the rooms is fine, thanks. Bye. Thank you, John.
It's been a year and 5 months since I've been in the courtroom with the judge.
Yes, we're all getting readjusted, aren't we?
I'm sure if this is where I'm supposed to sit.
No, you're on the plaintiff's side. You gotta shift gears. I'm gonna back up so he can see you. This makes Lance homesick for when he used to be on the defender contract.
Mr. Eby has 2 files, anyway.
Yes, he does. He's got problems.
Or maybe he has more than that I know about.
I had asked for another file on him, but I didn't get it. Let me see if she answered my email. I asked Samantha about 123, maybe she'll. Yeah, he's got problems. He also has a new charge of resisting obstructing a police officer.
Is 21-1003 a misdemeanor or civil infraction?
That is a ordinance. Let's take a look at it. I would have the same question. I thought it was a misdemeanor. 107. 103 isn't even on here.
I have a police report. I don't have a complaint. And I know the notice says retail fraud, Third Degree City -CIV-INS.
It's a civil infraction. One 107 is the DV case. Lance, for your knowledge and information, when we get these criminal cases picked up on bench warrants, we're supposed to do them within like 6 hours or something, or they have to be released. So we kind of have to drop what we're doing, get the attorneys here and try to take care of these. And I've got Vivian here. I'm not sure what she's here. She may be in the wrong courtroom. Also, the heat, the air conditioning shut off in here. Good afternoon, Mr. Eby. We'll be with you here in just a moment. Vivian, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Which case are you here on? I don't have a case for you on my docket right now.
I have 215 Alma Pinon zoning violation.
Oh, okay, I guess I do. You're in the right spot. I didn't realize that was a translator case. We'll be with you in just a moment. All right, we're
problem.
going to take up the matter of People versus Austin Demetrio Eby. Mr. Eby, is that you?
Yes.
Your lawyer, Mr. John Bush, is here with me. You've got several cases going on here. Basically, you fell off a map. This is file 211001. It was a methamphetamine possession case and a possession of another controlled substance. There was a misdemeanor plea offer.
Most definitely, sir.
It didn't show up for your pre-exam conference, and we need to reset it.
He actually entered a plea.
Did he?
Mhm.
I didn't think he did.
On May 25th, we scheduled a sentencing on June 28th with a pre-sentence report. He no-showed for that.
Remail, Gush contact info, Prosecutor Davis, office use of meth, no objection to HIDA. But I don't think he was there.
I have him there on May 25th by Zoom.
All right, and set for PSI, court needs more info. All right, so he failed to appear for sentencing.
And I don't believe he appeared for his pre-sentence interview.
Yes. Mr. Eby, what's your current address?
I was at 703 East Chicago Road, my grandma's. And
All right, you got arrested last night
yes.
and you got apparently in a fight with the cops because there's a new R&O charge.
I wasn't really fighting with them. They woke me up in the backseat of the car. And I freaking didn't know who it was because I was in a recent break-in.
All right, okay, well, don't say too much about that. We'll have you arraigned on that. Well, I need to set this for sentencing. Let me look at my calendar and Mr. Bush's calendar. John, are you available as early as, is Jacoby Bentley Reed yours?
I've had him before. What day are you talking about?
I've got you already scheduled for Monday, August 9th. That was the one we did yesterday with Jordan and you couldn't be there.
Okay, I think I was here for something else.
Yeah.
Also, so.
I'm going to set this for sentence for Monday, August 9 at 10:30. Now, you've got also a domestic violence charge that I need to deal with. I'm going to have to do it by on base because I don't have any sheet on it. That is (21-1107). In that case, you failed to appear. Let me see here. Posted a PR bond. You failed to appear in front of Judge Pattison and he issued a bench warrant, set bond at $500. I'm going to show you're arraigned. Bond remains at $500. cash or surety. Let's set a pretrial with the prosecutor for Monday, 8/9/2021 at 8:30. On the other case, the methamphetamine case that you didn't show up for, I've set for sentencing for Monday. Bond is canceled. You didn't show up for your domestic violence case. You didn't show up for your methamphetamine case. You didn't show up for your retail fraud case. And you got a new charge of resisting and obstructing a police officer. And apparently you didn't move or go anywhere. So I'm not sure why we just lost track of you, but I've got track of you now. Mr. Bush, your lawyer, will be there with you on the methamphetamine use charge. The other case, you'll have a pretrial earlier that morning, and I've got to schedule something on that civil infraction retail fraud. I think I'll set. I got to figure out when to do that because that's Sturgis ordinance.
Do I need to be noticed on that since it's a civil infraction?
You don't need to be noticed on the civil infraction.
I've been getting noticed on that as counsel, but
yeah, you don't. We don't appoint counsel on civil infractions. So
that's what I was trying to say.
That one. All right, Mr. Eby, the bottom line is you're going to be in jail until at least Monday, and I will see you further then.
Hey, Bill, is there any way that we can get like a treatment or program? Because I really do want to go to treatment.
I think that may be something we can discuss further. Maybe Lisa at the jail can meet with you, but you're obviously struggling. Very often in methamphetamine cases, the people don't show up. They're just so dysfunctional they can't do the normal things that other people do, and very, very often they don't show up when they're supposed to. Then you're passed out in the car and you get in a fight with the cops. So the other thing you need is a few days of detox time to get your head on more straight. And we will see you again on Monday. All right, you're good to go. Thank you. Thank you very much, John. I got some more work to do on that.
I'll let you get back to Lance.
All right. All right, now we've gone back to zoning mode. I left the YouTube feed on too low of that, but let's see what we've got. We've got a phone number. There's no one in the conference room. We've got, good afternoon. I'm speaking to 269-651-4195. Who am I speaking with?
Bonnie Myers.
All right, Miss Myers, stay right where you are. Let me give you a name. I'm going to bring in Joe Wicke and Gene Teft. Lance, we had Stanley and Kelly Brooks set for 2 o'clock. We can come back to that one. Neither one of them are here. We have Alma Pignon set for 2:15. It's now 2:24. I'd like to deal with that one so we can free up Vivian, the interpreter. It does not appear that Miss Pignon is here. This is a Borough Township case. Mr. Lindsay is here on behalf of the township. So I got files all over the place here. This is file 2020420N. It's entitled Borough Township versus Alma Pignon. Miss Pignon is not present. Vivian Montero was contacted by the court to interpret for us for the hearing. Vivian, it does not appear this defendant is going to be here. Mr. Lindsay, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, I swear you once again. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
This is a litter violation ordinance. The compliance order was entered in February, and this is a hearing to show cause why further action should not be taken. Mr. Thorne, what's your position here?
The property is still in violation, and I'd like to go ahead and inquire of Mr. Lindsay.
Go right ahead.
Mr. Lindsay, did you also inspect this Elma Pinon property yesterday, August 3rd, 2021?
Yes, sir.
And you prepared a report on that, is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
And the property failed and is still in violation?
That's correct.
Okay, that report has been forwarded to the court. Did you also take photographs of this parcel?
Yes, I did.
And there were 5 photographs taken yesterday, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do those photographs accurately and fairly depict the property and its condition as of yesterday, August 3rd, 2021?
Yes, they do.
It appears that we've got quite a bit of building and construction materials still in various locations on the property. Is that accurate?
It is, yes.
We would be requesting, Your Honor, that Mr. Lindsay's report and the photographs be entered as evidence, and that the proposed order we submitted allowing the township to go on and clean up the property after 21 days and bring it into compliance.
Vivian, I'm going to excuse you. There's nothing here for you to interpret. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. I was just gonna ask you, but I didn't want to interrupt.
All right. Well, you can't see the pictures, but Mr. Lindsay took some nice artistic shots with the sunshine in the background and some shadows, and but it's pretty messy property. You're free to go, Vivian. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
See you soon. All right, by default, and plus the testimony taken supports it, I've received the report and exhibits or photos as exhibit number 1. So effective this day, I will sign the order as requested by the township. How much? $347.50
in attorney's fees and $224 in safe built fees.
All right, I've signed the order. Get that organized here. That one, even if the township does it, doesn't look like it'd be that hard to clean it up. One good dumpster load, I think, could get most of that out of there, but it needs to be rectified. That may be what happens there. All right, that case is completed. Now, we have another 215 matter. Let me see. What's his initial soon? $230. Missile Share Gerhardt is $230. Myers is $230. and Gephardt is 230. They're all Mr. Thornton. They're various enforcement officers, but it is 230. The only defendant that's presently here is Bonnie Myers. So we'll address that one. We'll come back to the others one by one. Doesn't look like those defendants are going to appear. Bonnie Myers has a lot going on. Miss Myers, can you hear me?
Yes.
Do you have the ability to do video?
Yes.
All right, could you turn it on?
Yes. Hold on.
All right.
Yes, she's hooking it up right now.
Very good. Now here's JTM, which is probably Mr. Michelson.
Let me know when you're ready.
Court administrator came to me some weeks ago and said, we have a lot of zoning cases we need to set. I said, well, just set them. Well, today's the day. Mr. Michelson, can you hear me? Miss Myers, how's it going?
Okay, it's almost ready to come up. It's coming up. It's coming up.
All right, here's another Bonnie Myers. Let's open that one up. Mr. Michelson, can you hear me? All right, Bonnie, I gotta close your other one. All right, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and have a seat. This is file 201 or 363, 364, 365, 366, 367, 368, 369, 370, 371. They're all entitled People versus Bonnie Lou Myers. And I have those orders here somewhere. I thought I did. These are a series of violations from various properties. I don't have the orders on this one. Laura, could you, before we're done here, print the orders on Bonnie Myers? These are testimonial cases we're doing here.
Your Honor, I may have not submitted fresh orders this morning. You have orders from the June
All right.
hearings that were renoticed.
Okay, that's probably it. They're all buried in the Polycom or on base somewhere. All right, well, what is the premises here?
Do we have Mr. Wiki and Mr. Kuhlman on?
Mr. Wiki and Mr. Kuhlman are both here. So why don't we start by swearing everyone? Wait just a moment. Very hard to do 7 files by on base. These are going to be hard for you to find.
Do you need me in here for testimony?
Probably. Gotta have some. We've already had them. All right. Let me click on one of these.
You want me to go print those out first?
Well, let's see where we are.
Okay.
Because they're going to be hard for you to find. These are all involving White Pigeon Township and property near or at 21305 US 12. Mr. Thornton, we were here on June 21st. Mr. Thornton and Glenn Lindsay were here. The defendant failed to appear. Progress had been made. The mobile home was removed. There was some other property done. And then we had a number of other files, but the defendant wasn't here. So, Mr. Thornton, what's our premises here?
Okay. And just to make the record accurate, I don't believe Ms. Myers received notice for the last meeting, which is probably why she did not appear, and which is why we're redoing this show cause hearing today.
Okay.
Did Your Honor get Mr. Wiki and Mr. Kuhlman sworn in?
No, I haven't done any of that yet. So, Mr. Joe Wiki, what's your position with White Pigeon Township?
I'm the building official, sir.
And Mr. Douglas Kuhlman? He's the on-mute officer.
Trying to remain quiet, Your Honor. I'm the code compliance officer for the township.
All right. Well, both of you and Ms. Myers, all please raise your right hand. You all swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give here will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
I do.
Also note that
do.
Gene Teff, the township administrative official coordinator, is here also. All right, Mr. Thornton.
Mr. Kuhlman, let's start with the common address of 21305 US 12. This would be not the property Ms. Myers lives on. To my understanding, it's the one next door. Is that accurate?
It's the one right behind the house that she lives in. That was correct.
Okay. And these are file numbers.
Just a minute. Ms. Myers, could you put that dog down? Let's pretend we're in a court hearing. People are watching, probably hundreds. And if you were in court, you wouldn't have a dog in your. The dog's also coughing or something, which is disturbing the record. And this is in business for about.
That's the old dog. Brittany's gonna put her in the other room.
All right, very good. All right, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so we're on 21305 US 12. Mr. Kuhlman, that's our, I believe, our junk and litter violations on this property. When's the last time you were at this property?
The last time I was at the property was June 22nd. That was a report that was filed with the courts. I can't do a screen share if necessary. This is the property that contained a mobile home that was placarded as unsafe for human habitation due to its condition, a double-wide manufactured home that was brought in without permits, and other debris that was laying around on the property. This is also the property that I believe we have 2 burning citations on as well. Currently, as it relates to June 22nd, the mobile home's been removed. The double wide has been removed. There was some pallets laying around on the ground and some debris laying on a trailer. Since the last time I was out there, I did receive a call from, I believe it's Miss Myers' granddaughter, which she indicated that she would take care of all those items, but I have not been back out there to check that portion of it.
What file number is that?
This, Your Honor, is the file numbers starting with 366 through 371.
All right, and that's the 21305 property.
That's correct.
All right. Thank you. So it sounds like she's made some progress, substantial progress. All right, what about the other files?
Mr. Wiki, we're going to turn to 21307 US 12. These are file numbers 363 through 365. This, I believe, is our case where there were repairs made to the home or modifications made to the home that would have required a building permit, and building permits were not obtained, inspections were not done, and the compliance order required Ms. Myers to apply for and receive those building permits and inspections, which did not happen. Mr. Wiki, have you been back to this? When was the last time you were back to this property?
I was there on the 29th.
Of July?
July 29th.
And what did you find on the 29th?
That was the last time I was there. So the first time I was there, the apartment was still in the basement of the house. And they had not applied for permits at that time, but between then and July 29th, they did apply on 7/16 for permits for the cutting of the windows in the basement. And they have, as of July 29th, they did remove the apartment kitchen, everything in that area, everything to do with the kitchen. All that was removed. There is 2 windows down there and a door that is now fine to have in a basement. There's nothing that says they can't have that. So it has been inspected and approved.
So if I'm understanding correctly, have all violations now been corrected?
On my part, yes.
Okay. Your Honor, so in this case, Doug, do we have, Mr. Kuhlman, do we have anything on this case other than the building permit and building violations?
The latest thing that I was out there on was a burning violation. She should have an open citation on that.
Okay, but I'm not sure that's part of these files.
No, I don't believe it is.
Okay.
So I think, Your Honor, the cases 363 through 365, the violations have now been, after much effort and pushing by the township, have been corrected just very recently. So what the township would be requesting on this one is to be awarded its costs and attorney's fees, as well as Mr. Kuhlman's and Mr. Wiki's fees. And these fees are combined between both cases. We have $911 in attorney's fees and $280 in Mr. Kuhlman's fees.
All right, that's 363 to 365. I didn't print these orders. Or if I did, printed last time, they got reabsorbed somewhere. What about 366 to 371?
I would have been asked to inquire of Ms. Myers. Ms. Myers,
Yes, sir.
are there still pallets and some wood stacked along the fence out there?
I think what he was talking about, I had these long pellets I was using for a horse fence that Mr. Coleman seen.
Are they still there?
No, I took it completely down.
Okay. Do you still have debris on a trailer?
I have some posts that I'm fixing fence on the trailer, and I have some, well, some of it's new lumber that I have to fix fence with. And it's on the trailer because I'm gonna be using it.
I guess, Your Honor, on this one, we're at this point. Mr. Coolman had not made it back out since in the June. That's probably my error. I would just ask that and I would submit an order that allowing 21 days to clear up any more junk that's on the property, and have Mr. Coolman go out and make sure it does get cleaned up. If it isn't, we would have the right to take it off.
It sounds like it's been rectified, but I'll allow the order. If anything is still there, I'll give Ms. Myers 21 days to pick it up. Are there attorney fees in that case also?
The attorney fees I gave you on the last case are a combined set of fees.
All right, so that includes all of them. So this one will just be 21 days to clean it up, no additional cost or attorney fees. All right. All right, Ms. Myers, I commend you for what you have accomplished out there. You and I have met a few times over the years, and you generally try to get your things into compliance, and after a bunch of poking and prodding, you were able to do that. However, the township's out $911 and $280 in fees from the inspector. But between Mr. Wiki and Mr. Coolman, I think you got both of these properties into compliance. I'm going to do an order giving you 21 days to clean up the property at lot 21307 US 12. I think that's already mostly done. In the other file, 21305, that's where I'm putting the attorney fees and the inspection fees, which are $1,191. All right, Ms. Myers, do you have any questions?
No, yes, when they first came out, I moved. There was some vehicles here that wasn't mine. I moved that. I moved my trailer. I moved a box trailer. I have moved, actually, there's nothing on that property. Other than on my small trailer, I have some posts. If I can get somebody to help me.
You should be entitled to do that, have repair material on a trailer to do fence repair. I can't conceive that violates something.
After that, everything's gone. I even went to the streams of cleaning the sheds out and got rid of a bunch of tools and stuff that I don't use. There is a shed that soon as I'm waiting on a backhoe. I gotta level it so I can put a door on it, and I like to put a nice front on it so it looks nice.
Very good. All right, I will. Which address do you prefer I send the mail to? 21307 or 21307? Yes. All right.
207. 307, I mean, excuse me.
All right. Anything further we need to put on the record on this case?
No, Your Honor.
That's what I will.
Ms. Myers, anything further?
Okay, is it $1,111
$11.91 to the.
Okay, hold on, 91.
That will be in
Okay.
the, to White Pigeon
And-
Township.
Okay, and then I owe 280 to the lawyer, right?
No, the 280 is to Mr. Coolman. The total is 911 plus 280. So it all goes to the township.
911 and this. So altogether, it's 1,191.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I appreciate your efforts in that.
Excuse me, is there a time frame on that? Because I just don't have it.
Yeah, most
I'll have
people don't. What's the time frame we should put on there, Lance?
Can I have,
90
is that 3 months? I might need just a little over 3 months, but
All right, we'll go 90 days.
okay.
All right, thank you. All right, Gene, thank you. We might, I can't remember, is everything else Burr Oak?
Yes, we're done with the White Pigeon Township officials.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a great day, Your Honor.
Thank you. See you soon.
I'm sure you will.
Yes, Joe, thank you. All right, back to Glenn. Mr. Mitchelson, you've been waiting there in video limbo. I got a lot of work to do on that case. All right, also set for 2:30 is people of Borough Township versus Jess Michelson or Michelson. 202043 and 2044. Co-defendant Patricia Shearer. 202045 and 46. I'm well familiar with this property on Maple Lane. I think we've been around and around on this 3 or 4 times. Mr. Michelson, when you first get your sound turned on, get level, take your hat off, and we should be ready to go. Is Patricia Shearer with you? You need to unmute your microphone. Mr. Michelson, turn your audio. There we go.
Find out where it's at.
All right. Can you hear me?
Barely, but I can deal with it.
Is Patricia with you?
I just had to phone right here. Huh?
Is Patricia with you?
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, she is. She did not get no court paper. And the last court date that we had, we never received a paper for it either. That's why we were not on this the last time we were supposed to have court.
Well, you're here now. This is file 202043, 4445 and 46. Jess Michelson, and Patricia Shearer. All right, Michelson. This is very difficult. I'm seeing the palm of your hand, the top of your head, your tattoos out the window.
Sorry, I turned it. We're pulling over that way we can talk a little better too.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were moving. I don't let people move while we're having a hearing.
Oh.
All right. Mr. Thornton, I'm going to start by swearing in Mr. Lindsay. Ms. Shearer, Mr. Michelson, please read. Yes, we've been around this block. All right. You all swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give here will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
I do.
All right. Mr. Thornton, what are the premises here?
Yes, still in violation. So, Mr. Lindsay, I will start with you. Did you visit this property yesterday, August 3rd, 2021?
Yes, I did.
And did you prepare a written report on that visit?
Yes, I did.
And is it accurate that the property is still in violation?
Yes, it is.
And did you take 5 photographs while you were there yesterday?
Yeah, on the property when he's not supposed to be on it.
Mr. Michelson, I'll give you a chance to speak, but you can't just blurt stuff out. So we'll get to that in a minute. Go ahead.
And Mr. Lindsay, were the 5 photographs you've taken, do those accurately and fairly depict the condition of the property as of yesterday?
Yes, sir.
And can you, those photographs and inspection report have been submitted to the court. Do you want to run through those briefly with us and share your screen?
Sure. Is it okay if I share my screen, Your Honor?
Yes, I will admit that exhibit as the report and 5 photographs as exhibit number 1 for this hearing.
So this first photograph, and I'll just go on the record and state all the photographs were taken from the public roadway, just for Mr. Michelson's benefit. So the first photograph is just a faraway shot of the front of the house and the side yard. You can see some litter debris in front of the house, but I do have another photo that will be a closer photo. So here's the close-up of that. You can see that there's a window or something leaning up against the house. Then here's another side yard photograph, kind of a faraway view. You'll see that there's looks like a partially dismantled pop-up camper, as well as quite a bit of pallet material. And then there's some more stuff out in the weeds. I think I have here's a close-up of some other debris out in the weeds in that dismantled pop-up camper. And then this photo here shows a pickup truck out behind a makeshift fence. And I'm assuming the pickup truck is not licensed and insured or operable. That's an assumption though. And then if you look closely, in the green is an old hot tub that's dismantled and just sitting on the property as well. So there's still, Your Honor, numerous violations of the litter ordinance, what I believe to be a violation of the vehicle ordinance. Again, it's pretty frustrating because we've been down this road many times with Mr. Michelson and Ms. Shearer to get this cleaned up.
All right. Mr. Michelson, you had some things you wanted to say. What would you like to tell me?
My neighbor told that he pulled in the driveway and was walking across the front yard.
Okay.
And I've kicked him off the property at least 5 times already. I want to know what I had to do to get these guys for harassment, because this is a bunch of bull crap. And the hot tub workers just ain't got it put together and put where I needed it at yet. And it's kind of hard when I'm doing it mostly by myself.
Well, as he mentioned, we've been down this road a couple of times. I've done some previous orders to clean this property up and it regresses. I'm going to grant the township the relief they're asking for. I'm not going to dance around this anymore. we're gonna get this property cleaned up. Either you're gonna do it within 21 days or the township's gonna do it. Mr. Thornton, what's the expense here?
It's a total of 350 in each case, 238 in attorney's fees and 112 in safe built fees. But it is 350 per case, 350 for Mr. Michelson and 350 for Ms. Shearer.
All right, you've got the orders already stating that. Mr. Michelson and Ms. Shearer, you got 21 days to clean this up. You owe $350 in each of you.
I have another question. On the last court date that we missed, he said that there were unlicensed campers there. How would he know that they were unlicensed? Because they've never been facing the roadway where the license plate goes.
He said he surmised they were, but he did not know for sure. If I had to put money on it, I'd guess they're not licensed, but he didn't testify that they were. He testified that he was assuming that they were.
All right, and don't you have to have the license for a camper to go down the road, not sitting in your yard? Because we just got them and we were working on it. And the one camper that he was griping about, we've been to court 5 times over already. I literally left it sitting facing the roadway for them to see the license plate every time they drove by for 2 years.
I'm going to send you a copy of this order, one for each of you. I've reached the end of my rope on this one. You're either going to clean it up or the township's going to clean it up and spread the bill on it. I received that exhibit.
How do I go about
Excuse me, I couldn't hear you.
How do I go about for harassment from these guys?
Well, if you can find an attorney to take your case, you could file one. I don't think it results in harassment. They're trying to enforce the ordinance that you've been out of compliance with for the last year.
Our property before they even get to ours.
All right, you're each going to get a copy of this in the mail. I can barely hear you. I have a lot of institutional knowledge about this case from previous cases. I've accepted the exhibit. There was an earlier compliance order that you're not in compliance with, and your neighbors are sick up and fed with this. So clean it up in 20 days or the township will do it. Give you the bill. You'd each do $150. All right, thank you, Mr. Michelson. That was a bit abrupt. A, I couldn't hear him. B, he knows well and good that he's not in compliance, and he's taken the belligerent attitude that somehow it's somebody else's fault. And I've signed each order as requested. There'll be some work to do on those. All right, let's go back to the people that didn't show up. Well, there are several more we need to do here. File 2020474 48 and 49, People versus Jennifer Gebhardt. Mr. Lindsay, let's just assume that you're still under oath. You were previously sworn. Mr. Thornton, you want to inquire as to these files?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lindsay, this case involves 64694 Maple Lane, Borough, Michigan. Did you visit this property yesterday?
Yes, sir.
It's owned by Jennifer Gebhardt. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you prepared a written report?
Yes, sir.
And that report states that the property is still out of compliance?
Yes, sir.
You also, looks like, took 3 photographs of this property?
Yes, sir.
And those were taken yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Do those fairly and accurately depict the condition of this property yesterday?
Yes, sir.
I'd move for admission of those, Your Honor.
They may be admitted as Exhibit 1 for purposes of this hearing.
Mr. Lindsay, you want to go ahead and share your screen and tell us what's still on this property that's in violation?
Sure thing, Your Honor. Would it be okay if I shared my screen?
Yes, thank you. I have copies of them, but go ahead.
Okay, Your Honor, the first picture was again taken from the roadway, and it depicts the same condition that we've had now for the last couple of hearings. This one is a motorhome that is, I believe, inoperable, most likely unlicensed, and also quite a bit of litter and debris behind it, as you can see in the photo. It is getting more and more difficult to see the litter and debris because of all the tall weeds from the lot not being mowed.
If that motorhome had wings on it, it would look like the spacecraft from Spaceballs.
Yes, Your Honor. Agreed. The next photo is a closer picture of the debris out behind there. And again, from all my visits on the site, it doesn't look like there's been any attempt to clean any of it up. It's just being hidden by the tall grass and weeds. And then the third photo, Your Honor, is a picture of the single wide mobile home that's still on site that was brought on without any permits ever being obtained. And then the fifth wheel travel trailer that has been occupied. On almost every one of my visits, there's been a generator running, indicating somebody's, I believe, in the fifth wheel travel trailer. So all violations still remain on site, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Gephardt emailed the court earlier today, one of the clerks, and I'll read it. My name is Jennifer Gephardt. I'm supposed to have Zoom court today with Judge Middleton around 2 p.m. I just found out about this court date yesterday. I do not live at the mailing address at all anymore. I'm not available to participate in the hearing at this time. Can it be rescheduled? Forwarded email to Mr. Thornton. He said, I object. We emailed her back, told her the hearing was not going to be adjourned, gave her further instructions on how to log in. She doesn't live there. She's allowing it to be used in this manner. And she was not excused from today's hearing that she has actual knowledge of. I'm going to get this property cleaned up. It's summertime. It's time to accomplish what we can. Burr Oak Township has also been very vigorous trying to clean up this Maple Lane area, which is a geographically beautiful spot, but it's full of blight that they're trying to get rid of. So effective this date, I would sign the order. Defendant has 21 days to bring the property into compliance. What is the cost here, Mr. Thornton?
The total is $650.50. That breaks down to $366.50 in attorney's fees and $284 in safe built fees.
All right, I put those numbers in there. She has 21 days to bring the property into compliance. The biggest problem is going to be that single wide mobile home that somebody dumped on there. As we've discussed, Mr. Thornton, I don't know if there's a township left in St. Joe County where you can site a single wide mobile home on a parcel of property. You may still be able to place it in a trailer park, but you can't just plunk one down, certainly not like this. So the order is in all three files, 2047, 48, and 49. She also has 21 days to appeal. Now, Brooks and Brooks is also Borough Township. That was a 2 o'clock case. Those parties are not here. File 201953, People versus Stanley Joe Brooks, and file 201954, People versus Kelly Brooks. This is a parcel at 62080 Borough Road. Mr. Lindsay, you're still under oath. Mr. Thornton.
Mr. Lindsay, did you visit 61670 Borough Road, Borough, Michigan, that property yesterday?
Yes, sir.
And you prepared a written report, is that correct?
That's correct.
And the offending structures that are not code compliant are still present, nothing's been done, is that accurate?
That is accurate.
And you took 1, 2, 3, 4 photographs of this parcel yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Do those photographs accurately and fairly depict the condition of the property yesterday?
Yes, they do.
Why don't you go ahead and share your screen and show the court what we have on.
For purposes of this hearing, those are received as exhibit number 1 for this date.
Your Honor, it's okay to share my screen once again?
Yes. Yes.
The first picture, Your Honor, is a picture of the home taken from the driveway. As you can see, it has a tarp on the roof. It has vegetation growing up it. The roof is sagging severely. It's in very poor condition. The second picture, Your Honor, is some outbuildings, and 2 outbuildings specifically, with looks like some makeshift fence built up and around them, and then also a tarp covering something, I'm not sure what. I do have a closer picture of that. There's a close-up of one of the outbuildings that it's in extremely poor condition and just really needs to be demolished. I don't think there's any repairing ability there. And then here's the last photo, a close-up, and if you look closely to the right of the tarp, there's a tire you can see there. There's to the left of the tarp, there's some sheet metal or something piled there. But again, the property is still in violation. The structures have not been demolished, no permits have been obtained, and there is still litter and tall grass there as well.
Your Honor, the township's requesting orders in both cases. We've submitted those to after 21 days, letting the township go on. We feel the defendants have had plenty of time. They're just ignoring the court and the township. So we're requesting those orders be entered to let the township bring in these properties into compliance. It will be significant cost, but the proposed order does allow us to put a lien on the properties for those costs. We're requesting in Mr. Brooks' case a total of $417.50 in costs at this point. $294.50 of that is attorney's fees. $123 is safe built fees, and we're requesting $294.50 in Ms. Brooks' case, and there wouldn't be any safe built costs in that case.
Do you know the history of this place, Lance? Was this the Brooks man that was killed?
No, it would actually be an uncle of his, but it's extended family.
All right, the Brookses were a prominent family in Baroque and Coleman Township. Eber Brooks was a county commissioner years ago, and his son was the victim of a homicide. And I didn't know if this was that family instead. or,
Ebert had three sons. Stanley is one of those sons who owns this property. Robert is another son of Ebert, and that was Robert's son that was killed.
all right. Well, I'm going to sign your orders as requested. It does appear, as you indicated, they're ignoring the township and the court. There are properties like this sprinkled all over the county that were family homesteads that fell into neglect when the seniors' families passed, and they went down the line to offspring that have no interest or no ability to maintain them. We've had a number of cases like this, but I'm going to sign the order. The defendants are not here. They have notice of the hearing. I've received the exhibit, and in each case, I'm granting the relief asked for, including the cost as placed on the record. You're right, this is going to be expensive to come tear this down, although you would then have a nice parcel of property, which would be a nice buildable lot for somebody.
Your Honor, I'm on the St. Joe County website. It looks like this is a 153-acre parcel. It looks like there are no taxes paid for 18, 19, or 20 as well.
Well, this may be going up for tax sale. Again, and I almost mentioned many of these cases go up for tax sale at some point because people just completely neglect them, including neglecting the payment of the taxes. I guess one option would be the township to wait for somebody to buy it at tax sale. But if you come tear it down, place a lien on it, that would be, I guess, covered at the tax sale. I'm sure once upon a time that was a fine home and many children were raised there. They probably had dogs, cats, and garden and crops, and sad to see it in that fashion. All right, I believe we have one more.
If we do, I'm not aware of it.
Did we do, we did Linda Ware. We did Charles and Laverne Ware.
That's correct. We've done that.
All right. When these got filed, you filed a number, Joe Hass filed a number, the Sieber firm filed a number. The administrator came and said, well, we're going to have our hands full. So we've had several busy afternoons. I do commend the townships. Everyone feels that they're just picking on them. But we've accomplished a lot of blight removal this spring and summer all around the county and getting people to bring their properties into compliance or having the townships do it. There's considerable expense involved from the townships. But I've signed the orders in each case. I'll fly spec these to make sure they're correct. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.